All right, we got a good one for you today. Something I certainly want to talk about. And maybe you heard about this story. I don't know if you did or not. But if you did, and then you wonder where it went, well, when you find out what exactly happened, it starts to make sense. But it is a failure of media, why nobody trusts anything that comes from them, and certainly why I think journalism, I use that kind of as like loosely because this is what these guys would like to call themselves as journalists, is something to be in this day and age ashamed of if you certainly are working for the mainstream. Nonetheless, there was a story, you may have heard about it, a brick got tossed at a gay bar, okay? Now, instead of looking at it from the perspective of, okay, this is objectively what happened, immediately, and I mean immediately, it went to, oh my God, there are folks that want to inflict bad things upon the gay community, and this is yet another example of that. And when I saw the video, hilariously, I knew from the get-go. And when you see it, if you just look at it objectively, you know that we got some gay on gay crime here. But I want you to listen to a little bit of this coverage, and it'll kind of bring home my point here, and it'll show you exactly what the problem is, okay? Look at this. Pull this up real quick. This is coming from NBC, of course, when this first happened.
A shattered window.
Now, just looking at the way that the guy threw the damn brick. When I saw this, I was like, oh, no. You can call it stereotypical. I really don't care. My mind immediately went to, this probably ain't a guy that, let me just say, I assumed, right, if I am to make an assumption, my mind didn't immediately go, well, that was some like anti-gay cat doing this. No. But listen to some of the coverage here real quick. And again, this is coming from NBC.
Shattering a sense of security here in Hell's Kitchen.
It's unnerving.
Police say a man armed with a brick is targeting Verse, a gay bar near 49th and 9th. Police say the same guy has hit the same bar 4 times in the past month.
All right, so they're looking at this guy, and that's significant, right? This person has done things in some sort of way, shape, or form, targeting this bar 4 times is what they're saying. Now, make no mistake, this is an act of aggression, okay? I am obviously, me being a strict believer, I mean, that's the foundation of all upon which all rights extend from, and that's property rights, okay? And this person, this is why it's an act of aggression, you know, because this person is inflicting damage upon someone else's property, and that should not be tolerated under any circumstance. With that being said, you can't immediately go, when you talk about motives, the fact that folks' mind, even though statistically this is the least likely to happen, your mind goes that this person is inflicting damage upon this bar, and therefore it must mean that they want to inflict damage upon this entire community. And so that's the whole weaponized victimhood, and that is a foundational problem. And I'm gonna extend on that, or expand upon that, here in a little bit.
And owner David DiParalisa has had enough.
It's meant to instill fear, and I think instead of having fear, I'm feeling emboldened and angry and ready to fight back.
Okay, so this person, this is the owner. Of course, they saying that it's meant to instill fear. Okay, which that doesn't necessarily that's not necessarily incorrect, because definitely if this person is targeting, you can imagine that. However, listen further.
Lisa is sending the video around to people in the community, making them aware, hoping someone recognizes the brick-toting attacker.
There's a lot of heightened fear in the community from attacks happening all over the country, and we just want to make sure that we're providing a safe space.
Right now, no official word on this man's motive, but detectives are working to determine if hate is fueling these attacks.
So that's, of course, where NBC is going immediately. And the fact that people's minds go there is the fundamental problem. Because think about this. It doesn't matter what community that you're dealing with. All data points to this fact, for the most part, that is. And that is that the folks that are willing to use aggression, right, commit crimes, it's often people within that sort of same makeup. Now, sometimes the percentage is higher or lower if you're going to compare them community. Demographics are certainly a real thing. However, the person, just because of proximity, that is more likely to commit the act of aggression is going to often be people that are already within that same demographic. That's just what the data shows, okay? Not my opinion. You can feel some kind of way about it, but that's the reality. Yet, because of this weaponized victimhood and who they think that it can demonize, you have people that resort to external almost immediately with anything. So what happens is, instead of looking at it objectively and saying, well, could this be a hate crime? Yeah, potentially. It could. But it's more likely that it isn't one of those. If you're talking about the element of other aspects of even race, it's the same thing. It's, well, this happened to this group of people, and if that group of people is deemed as a minority group, then that means that this bad thing must have happened because they were of that ilk. So it's a gay bar. It's known to be a gay bar, and therefore it must be targeted because it's a gay bar, therefore targeting members of the gay community. And and I'm, again, not saying that there are instances where that is the case. What I'm saying is that to immediately default there is the fundamental problem, and why coverage media is the way that it is because that is far more sexy to say, well, bam, this has to have happened because of this. That's why they jumped on the famous French actor, Jussie Smollett, and his situation. They immediately jumped on that, which sounded as unlikely as possible. And that was a completely made up. This is an actual crime, right? But that one was completely made up. But you wonder why they immediately default to that. And it's because, well, it's a sexy story. But listen just a little further.
It's not a great feeling, and hopefully it doesn't escalate, and that hopefully it doesn't affect other gay places and safe spaces in the city.
Verse is still open for business. If you recognize the person in that video, you're asked to call police immediately. A cash reward is being offered for any information leading to an arrest. You can remain anonymous. In Hell's Kitchen, I'm Mark Santia, News 4 New York.
All right, so that's the coverage of NBC. Of course, hey, lending itself to the idea that this was some hate crime. Of course, the owner is, of course, leaning that way as well. Hey, don't want this to happen to other people within, yada, yada. And then you find this out, okay? So as reported, of course, by Blaze, and this is why it fell out of the whole media cycle. On Tuesday, police ruined the homophobic narrative when they arrested 34-year-old Sean Quillen, who identified himself as a gay man. They said that he told them he was exacting revenge on the gay bar on behalf of a female friend of his who was in a feud with the business. And as of right now, they have no reason to believe any of this is a hate crime. So what we had was gay on gay crime.